There I am. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to all of y'all. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. I'm going to go right over to the comments here real quick. I hope y'all are doing well. Welcome to another Monday evening. Let's see. There we go. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. I just had to get things ready to go. Welcome to Cliff Notes Live, a very special episode 50. That is amazing. Welcome to all. Well, I got to start with SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love all of y'all out here. I appreciate the support so much that has let me do 50 episodes. This is on YouTube Live. This isn't talking about Cliff Notes Live that I used to do over on the TV Co app or all the recaps I do on Big Brother every morning and the challenge and the Survivor. Speaking of Survivor, I'm doing a recap. So again, if you aren't checking those out every Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, I'm trying to drop those. But no, just 50 straight episodes of Monday night talking to all of y'all guys. And this is by far my favorite one because I get to interact with y'all. Instead of me just talking away without any input, I get to actually listen to y'all as well. My favorite part of the day. Well, Friday afternoons getting through with work's pretty nice as well. But for Monday, this is pretty good. I hope y'all are doing fantastic. Got a few more things I'll say before we get any further, but Amanda, howdy. Brian Hostetter, howdy. Casey, Crosstrack, Deborah as well. Welcome to all of y'all. Ma, welcome, Ma. And Elisha, I'm going to turn my brightness up just a little bit. There we go. I'm going blind here. Kaylin Donnelly and Joyce Grinstead. Welcome to all of y'all. And Anna Kano. Didn't mean to forget you as well. Before I go any further, I just wanted to give a real quick shout out. First of all, thanks to all of y'all old viewers. And when I say old, I mean that you've been watching for a long time. New viewers, welcome as well. Those of you watching it live, those of you watching on replay, y'all are all special to me. I welcome and I thank all of y'all. A special shout out to two people, and that's Ma and Brian Hostetter for being moderators. I had a month or two ago, I guess it's been a couple of months, I had some little trolls that came on and tried to cause problems. So I didn't ask anyone. I just kind of picked two people that I knew were out here a lot, and thank y'all for being moderators. We haven't had any issues since then, so I don't know. The trolls either came out here and said, "You guys are really boring. We'll go pick on someone else," or the two of y'all have been doing a fantastic job. But thank y'all for all of that. I do appreciate it. I picked the background with the red carpet and all that. I feel like I need to be wearing a tuxedo and a top hat or something, right? Like I'm the kind of guy that keeps a tuxedo tucked away in the closet, right? Not so much. This will have to do this evening. I could have worn my black cowboy hat, but I don't know. That's kind of the villain role, right? It is funny. When I did Big Brother, when I was trying to decide what I wanted to wear in the house, one of the selections or one of my choices was cowboy hats. And I actually had this one, and I had a white hat. Well, the white hat didn't make it in because it was too bright. It screwed up the cameras. I don't know, camera experts could tell you that, but it's too bright and it messed things up. But this hat was okay, so I wore it in. I actually have a black hat that I like, but I just thought, nah, someone's going to think that makes me the villain or something instead of the good guy. You know, good guys wear the light hats, villains wear the black ones. So I intentionally didn't wear that hat in there. So it's funny, the little things that sometimes you think about when you start packing and getting ready for a show like Big Brother. I know the producers at one point asked me, they said, "Cliff, we know you like cowboy hats. How many are you going to bring into the house?" I said, "I don't know. A couple, I guess." They said, "Oh, we thought you were going to take in like 20 or something." And so, no, I'm not taking 20. I'm not loading 20 cowboy hats up into a suitcase and trying to take them over to California. What a nightmare that would be. I hope they didn't pick me just thinking I was going to be wearing a different cowboy hat every night I was on the show. If they did, then sorry, guys, it wasn't going to happen. But no, so that was pretty funny. But anyway, so no tuxedo tonight, just regular old wear for that. All right. With all that being said, let's see. My dad wants to know your opinion on the Dallas Cowboys. I assume you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys and not just Cowboys in general who go out and rope horses and things like that. Because those Cowboys, I love me some rodeo. I love going to the Houston rodeo and all that. But Ma, I assume you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. And let me just say this. I grew up as a Dallas Cowboys fan. I grew up in Arlington, Texas, just outside Fort Worth, and near Dallas. It's where the Cowboys play nowadays. Is Arlington. So I grew up a Cowboys fan until about mid 1990s when I moved down here to Houston, and from that point on, I've become a huge Houston Texans fan, which is hard to do the way we're playing this season. But yeah, Houston Texans first. Cowboys, yeah, I'll cheer. Oh, the whole rest of my family cheers for them. So yeah, I'm still a Cowboys fan, but before that, I'm a Houston Texans fan. So there you go. And split allegiance, split loyalties, right? I love the Cowboys, the old Dallas Cowboys, when we had Tom Landry and Roger Staubach and Bob Lilly and Ed Too Tall Jones and some of those players. Nowadays, I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything negative about the current ownership of the Cowboys. I'll just say I really liked back in the day. All right, let's see. It should show you your collection of cowboy hats. Yeah, Mom, maybe I'll do that one of these days. Get them all out and get them all cleaned up and shaped and all of that. Do that. Let's see. Michelle Moore, did you see the Impractical Joker's issue when Sal punishment was a bingo hall? Yeah, Michelle, I did. I think we talked, was it last week? We talked about Impractical Joker, some of the shows we watch. Impractical Jokers is one of my absolute favorites. I think I told you I've watched every episode, and yet every once in a while there'll still be one pops up that I just forgot about something. But yes, when Sal had to keep saying bingo and got those people so upset with him, one of my absolute favorites. He's lucky he got out of there without just getting destroyed by some little lady hitting him over the head with the purse. Was about to be his fate. The other one where he really got people mad. Oh, it wasn't Sal. Maybe that was Sal too. I think it maybe was, where he was on the tour bus at Universal Studios. And as they're riding the bus, he has to keep pulling the emergency cord and getting the people all upset around him. That was pretty scary as well. Yeah, I love Impractical Joker. So yeah, I could talk about. I'll do an episode just for that, maybe somewhere down the road, because otherwise we'll talk for the whole hour on that. All right, Chris, your boy, would you go on Big Brother Canada if they did us versus Canada and they ask you? Yeah, absolutely, I would. That'd be fun. Big Brother Canada. It's kind of weird, isn't it? For those of you who watched it. It's because I think it's filmed up in Toronto. Pretty sure it's up in Toronto, and it's filmed in March or so. So it's cold up there. So they don't really have a whole lot of outdoor backyard areas. They've got one little spot that's got a spa or something, but a lot of their stuff is more indoors. All the competitions they do are indoors and things like that. So in some ways, I feel like I would feel a lot more claustrophobic inside the Big Brother Canada house. But they also have rooms that are so big, even though they're indoors, they just look like giant rooms, which would be nice. And the styling, the sets, everything they do it top notch up there. I'd do it in a heartbeat. That'd be a lot of fun. I met a lot of the Big Brother Canada people when they came down for the boxing event in August. Incredible, friendly, nice people. Some of the greatest, nicest people. I was the ring guy. Went around, escorted the ring girls during that boxing. The 3 ring girls were Jessica from my season, Julie Vu, and Spicy V, Victoria from Big Brother Canada, both of them. They were so much fun. I had a blast doing it. So, yeah, I do. Big Brother Canada, Big Brother USA, either one. Absolutely. But speaking of Big Brother Canada, for those of you who are Canadian, because you got to be Canadian to do the show, but for those of you who are up north of the border, I think the deadline for turning in your applications for Big Brother Canada is this Friday. So, take a chance in life, do something crazy. The odds are probably that nothing will come of it, but you never know. Every time there's a lottery winner, someone who said, I don't have a chance to win this, wins it. Every season, there's people like me on Big Brother who said, I didn't think there was any chance I was going to make it on. And you make it on. So don't ever think that there's the chances are zero, because there's something less than or greater than zero. So if you're up in Canada, try it for Big Brother Canada, and let someone know if you go on the show that you watch this show. Make sure they let me know so I can be your biggest #1 fan and cheer you on the entire way through. All right, couple of questions. Her Majesty, I like that login name. Who would you cast on Big Brother US versus Canada? Oh, that'd be hard. I don't know. I mean, it'd be boring if you just picked all the people who were the winners, right? You got to have drama as well. So you need to have a good mix of the strategic players versus the emotional, the drama type people. I don't know. And I'll give you a little secret. I've only seen the last few seasons of Big Brother Canada. I started watching Big Brother, or yeah, Canada 6. Is that the one with Dane and all? And the Pretty Boys, I think. I watched that, and I wasn't able to finish it up because I was kind of busy with Big Brother USA. But I started watching that season. I've seen this season since then, but there's a lot of seasons before those. I need to go back and watch those seasons with Ika. As much as I've heard about her, and Karen, I talked to Karen off and on, a fun person. I understand she was a lot of fun to watch as well. So now I need to go watch the old episodes. But yeah, I don't know who I'd pick. I'd have to get me a big old long list and figure out how that would work. I don't think they'll ever do that, and I'm not sure why. I just don't think that. Because CBS does Big Brother down here. I think, who is it, Globe TV or someone does it out there in Canada. The idea that the two of them could get together and figure stuff out, I don't know. What am I to say? I'm not an expert on it. It'd be fun. It'd be a lot of fun. I would love to see a Big Brother where you take people from all different countries and put them together. And I don't know the feasibility of making that work, but maybe 2 people from every country. A Big Brother Africa used to do that. They would take 1 or 2 people from all these different African nations and put them together. Eventually, I think now it's just Big Brother Nigeria, so they just have one country. But it used to be from a bunch of different countries. Wouldn't that be cool if you had Europe and Canada and the U.S. and Brazil and some different spots? I'd watch it. I'd have a blast watching it. Boss saying, what's your favorite country you've been to, and what's your favorite country you haven't been to yet but would want to go? All right, where I haven't been yet that I'd like to go, Australia maybe. I've never been to Australia. Maybe New Zealand even more than Australia, because I just see pictures. It looks so beautiful. And I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, and that'd be kind of cool to see all that and everything. But no, I think Australia or New Zealand would be cool places I've never been to that would be fun. Coolest place that I've been to, well, I don't know. It depends. It's like picking your favorite child. I like exotic places. So I love being in Moscow and walking around and knowing that just 30 years before they were our huge enemy, and I would have been arrested on the spot for walking around in front of the KGB headquarters and things like that. China, just the idea of going to the Forbidden Palace and then going to the Great Wall and seeing the history and everything was pretty awesome. Can't go wrong with Rio De Janeiro down in Brazil. I've had fun every time I've gone down there. The people are so laid back. There's nothing like sitting on the steps of some restaurant on Copacabana Beach and just drinking caipirinhas and having fresh seafood and listening to the Brazilian samba music playing and everything. That's pretty cool too. And I'll give you a final one. And you see, I'm not really giving you an answer, right? Because how do you pick that? But my other one is Scotland. I love Scotland. It's where my family originated back in the 1700s. So I'd love to go back there. Here's the main thing. Not where would I like to go again if I had a choice, but who would I like to go if I had a choice? It'd be Sharon. I would love to take my wife with me, because all these trips I made, it was part of the oil field. And so I was just going in there for a week or so, doing my stuff and then getting back out. I'd love to go revisit all those places and take her with me so she can explore a little bit. That's the way I want to do my trips going forward. So we got some planning to do. All right, let's see. Amanda, have you seen the pyramids? No, I've never been to Egypt. The closest I've been to Western Africa. I've been to the Middle East, but I've never been to Northern Africa. So yeah, I'd like to do that. But you see some pictures nowadays, and it looks like there's so much just urban sprawl. There's so many. The city has grown up around the pyramids, and it's just a little bit of smog and everything. It's become so touristy. And here's what I like where it's not so touristy. If I go somewhere, I like to just walk a couple of blocks away from where the tourists are and see what the real backwoods kind of area is. And I don't know that you get as much as that with the pyramids. But yeah, I'd love to go just to take a look. It's in my bucket list. All right, Janet Johnson, would you ever go on Survivor? Yes. Yeah, I absolutely would. And I think I'd do all right with it. I mean, look at me. I can go a few weeks without rice, right? I think I'd be okay. I got a little more hibernation fat to work with than some other people who go on that show. So the not eating, yeah, I'd be a little hangry, but the not eating, I'd be okay. And I'm pretty good at swimming. I did a lot of long distance endurance swimming as a kid. I've got 2 kids, so I got very used to being the packing mule of the family, carrying the car seats and everything else on my shoulders, all the kids, everything else. Yeah, I think I'd do all right at Survivor. I would certainly do it in a heartbeat if I got the chance. And free, do you ride a motorcycle? No, because I've been forbidden. There's 2 things that I am not allowed to do as given by my wife, and I'm not going to go against them, and that is ride a motorcycle in the city of Houston and go skydiving. Yeah, those 2. That's probably a lot more. Skydiving is safe. I really, what are the chances? They're pretty small, right? Of course, they're pretty small chances I got on Big Brother and I still got on. So, but yeah, skydiving actually is pretty safe. But riding a motorcycle in the city of Houston, not the smartest thing you can do. There's times when I'm stuck in rush hour traffic where I look at these motorcycles and go, gosh, wouldn't that be great just to zip in and out and everything? But then there's a lot of accidents involve motorcyclists as well. So yeah, now I've ridden motorcycles in the past, not street cycles, just like motorbikes when I was a kid, friends and things like that. But yeah, not nowadays. Now other people, Sam and Nick from my season, both had motorcycles. Yeah, not me. I can't afford to be knocking on my noggin too many times. And so, yeah, no motorcycles for me for any time soon. All right, let's move on. Thank you for the question. I appreciate all of them. I got a couple of stories, a couple of day in histories and everything else as well I was going to throw in there, but I appreciate it. Let me look at these first. Did you ever like the Oilers? Yeah, Ma, I like the Oilers. I liked the old days when they had, who was, can't even think of now who was the big Herschel? Not Herschel. Earl Campbell. Thank you. Yeah, I like the Oilers. I've always liked that. I liked the coach. Yeah, I liked them. All right, let's go on. This date in history, and I'll come back to some comments here in just a second. First of all, too quick this day. Well, not this day in history. Today is national kind of days, right? Now, first of all, today in history, 2001, I think, Microsoft releases the Xbox. Isn't that cool? It's only been 20 years since we had not the Xbox 360, not the Xbox One, but the original Xbox, the old school games. And I say old school, but I'd been playing video games for 30 years before that, maybe. My first video game system my parents ever got me and my brother, was called the Odyssey. And this thing was so old school that when you wanted to play a game, there were 6 different little cartridges that you would put into the machine. And then there was a little plastic overlay that you would tape onto your TV screen to make it look like a tennis court or look like a haunted house or look like a race car, racetrack. And so you'd play the game with these old clunky controllers using the overlays to make it look a little fancier. Talk about old school. That was the first video game. I actually still have it, so I need to take a picture of it and post it for y'all one of these days. But yeah, Xbox came out in 2001. I remember, especially when my kids were younger, we were kind of a Nintendo family. We played a lot of Legend of Zelda. My favorite of all time. We played as a family. It took us forever, but we beat the Ocarina of Time. But now Xbox 360, Call of Duty, FIFA, Madden. I love all of them. I can't play with my son anymore because he just destroys me anytime I play. I can't believe I'm not any better at those games than I am, but yeah, a lot of y'all, you just got to figure it out, and I don't have it quite yet. So anyway, so there you go. This day in history. All right. Today is national. I want to throw a couple of those out before we move on to some other topics. First of all, did y'all know today is National Bundt Cake Day? Yeah, I know that's kind of weird, and who would have thought that? Bundt cake, the ones that got the hole in the middle, right? I can't think about Bundt cakes without thinking about My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Have y'all seen it? I assume most of you have. If you haven't, watch it. It's one of our, Sharon and I, it's one of our favorite kind of date night movies. Doesn't matter how many times we've seen it. We still, if it's on TV and it's a Friday night, we'll pull that thing on and watch it as a little bit of a date night because it is just such a great, just a rom-com kind of movie and all that. But it also hits home with our families because my wife's family kind of quiet. And you go to their house and it's very calm and sedate, and everything is just very not formal, but it's just calm. You go to my family, myself, 3 brothers, all the families, relatives, cousins on. It's like a madhouse. It's crazy town. There's competitions going on in the front yard. There's competitions going on in the kitchen. Who can stuff more marshmallows in their mouth? People playing pranks on each other, spiking the food with different spices and things. Anything you can imagine. The house is going crazy on special events. Thanksgiving, Christmas, things like that. Yeah, actually, pretty much every weekend we go in, we've got that going on. So, yeah, my big fat Greek wedding is a lot like our actual lives. I felt so sorry, not just for my wife, but also for my sister-in-laws. Every single one of them, the first time they ever came to visit us at our family, at our house, they had pranks played on them. They had little things. Like one of my brothers took a cuckoo clock and went and put it up in the room where my wife was staying the first time, just as a joke. So she had to listen to this little cuckoo go off every hour. Just little things like that. So, yeah, it's always fun at the Hog household when people come to visit. So, yeah, it always makes me think of my big fat Greek wedding, and my big fat Greek wedding makes me think of Bundt cake or going into reverse. Y'all know what I mean, right? All right, so we've got that. All right, let's see. Hold on a second. Travel the World says, saw in the local news, and they said the same thing about the mispronunciation of Bundt. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't Travel. Am I saying it the right way, the wrong way? The rest of y'all, Bundt. If I say it with that little Bundt, does that make it better than just saying Bundt? I don't know. Whatever. I'm not an expert when it comes to. I'm an expert when it comes to eating and evaluating the taste of cakes, but Bundt versus regular, I don't know. But no, I love me kind of cake. Yeah, they're all pretty good to me. All right. Let's see a couple other things. Julie Shepard, how many states have you been to? I don't know, Julie. I've never actually counted them. Maybe I have. I haven't kept track. I've been to pretty much all the states in the southern United States. I've probably been to most of the states along in the western time zones from the Rockies onwards. The places I haven't been is the upper Midwest. Haven't been to North Dakota yet. One of these days, maybe. And I haven't been to the New England states or really anywhere up along the Great Lakes. So Ohio, Illinois, New York, Maine, Massachusetts. There's a lot of places. I've been all over the world, but here in the United States, unfortunately, if there's not oil there, I probably haven't been there. Closest I've come to New York City was going to Newark, to flying to the airport to change planes when I was flying down to Rio de Janeiro. So, yeah, there's a lot of places within the United States I ought to go travel to as well. And one of these days, I'm ready to do it. I just have to retire. I got a few more years in me, hopefully a lot of years in me, and finish that up. And, yeah, that maybe, I don't know. Maybe I can talk Sharon into hopping onto a 2-person motorcycle. We'll just travel all up along New England. And you never know who you'll see driving down the street in a hog with a cowboy hat on, and we'll be good to go. Don't count on it anytime too soon. All right, Janet. Janet, a brother was killed while on his motorcycle. Janet, I am sorry to hear that. I certainly don't want to make light. You got to be careful on those things. It's there's a certain convenience to them, but yeah, it's. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. As someone who lost a brother as well, not on a motorcycle, but an auto accident. It's. I can relate, and I'm sorry for that. All right, let's see. What else do we have on here? I'm so far behind in my comments, guys. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. Bear with me. All right, Mark Taylor. A Thanksgiving question. What is your favorite, not counting turkey? All right. Well, yeah, I got to throw out those hams, right? Honey baked hams. Yeah, give me one of those hams that's got all the brown sugar coating on the outside and everything. Oh, it's pretty good. I can kind of give up the turkey even if I got a good ham sitting there for me. I don't have to be a purist and have the turkey. Speaking of, for those of you who are perhaps buying your own turkeys this year, as opposed to having someone else in your family taking care of the cooking and all that, get them now, because everything I keep hearing is that the supply chain issues are just going to impact all kinds of stuff with Thanksgiving. So yeah, I like me some honey baked ham, but beyond that, in our family and kind of going back to the hog household and how I grew up, You got to have macaroni and cheese. You got to have some King's Hawaiian biscuits or rolls to go with it. We got to have, what else? I kind of stop at macaroni and cheese. Green beans, sweet potatoes. Yeah, but I'll still go back to the macaroni and cheese because that's our absolute favorite. But yeah, give me some macaroni and cheese and some ham, and you don't have to feed me a whole lot else. I'm not a big cranberry fan. You get the cranberry slices or the stuff in a jar that's the congealed one. Yeah, not my big deal. I'll stick with the mac and cheese and be perfectly happy. All right, let's see what else. Ma saying opinion on Office Space, my favorite movie. I like Office Space. I've seen it quite a few times. I don't know if I like the Jennifer Aniston with all the flair part of it, or who is it? Mike? What's the guy's name that's down in the basement with the stapler that is working, even though he maybe doesn't officially work there? Yeah, I like Office Space. It's one of my favorites as well. So it's a lot of fun. All right, let's see what else as I quickly go through here. Are your kids planning their weddings yet? Yes, they are, Amanda. It's a lot of preparation goes into wedding nowadays. All right, before I tell you another this day in, let me talk about this. I finished over the weekend. Well, we finished Ted Lasso. You remember I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Man, I love Ted Lasso. He's just so much. Some of his little sayings and the way he looks at life. I'd like to think it's a little bit the way I look at life. Maybe he just ramps it up just a little bit of a notch, but maybe not too much. What's it? He had a little joke about a wigwam. She's like a wigwam and a teepee. And they said, I don't get it. What do you mean? She's too intense. Yeah, they're just. Yeah, we like Ted Lasso. We'd already seen the first season. I hadn't seen the second season yet. Episodes kind of hot and cold. There were some that were hilarious and a lot of fun. Others were a little dark, a little serious, which, there's nothing wrong with that, but it kind of caught me off guard. But yeah, we finished up Ted Lasso. I'm ready for season 3. They got to have a season 3. I know they're going to have a season 3 of that show, and I'm going to be ready for it. I got to say, not growing up in the soccer culture, but I love the soccer culture. I've told y'all stories before about being overseas watching World Cups and taxis with TV sets up on the dashboards and Brits that refused to get on planes until they found out how the English team had done and all. I got so many soccer stories. But there's one that was a lot of fun. When I was down in Rio De Janeiro, since we talked about that earlier, I had a weekend off while I was down there. And I said, well, I got to go up and see the Christ the Redeemer, the big statue of Jesus up on the peak and everything. And so I found a little tour that would put me on a little bus and they drive me around until we finally got to where the bottom of this hill was. And you have to take one of those funiculars or something. It's like an angled little trolley that goes up the side of the mountain. You take that up and then finally you have to walk up a bunch of steps and you finally get up to where the Christ the Redeemer is. And it is cool. It is a lot of fun. It's such an amazing view of the Bay of Rio de Janeiro and Sugarloaf, which is a huge mountain. And they used to run Formula One races in Rio de Janeiro, and the track is still there. And you could look down at from the top of this peak and see the racetrack there. And what's cool on the weekends, well, maybe throughout the week, I'm not sure, since they don't run Formula One races there anymore, instead they've turned it into a giant driving school. So anyone who wants to learn how to drive in Rio de Janeiro can go over to the racetrack. There's all these people sitting around with cars. You just pay them a little money. They let you get in their car. They're in the car with you, but they let you get behind the wheel and they teach you how to drive on a Formula One racetrack. How cool would that be? But anyway, I'm getting a little away from the story because on the way back from that, we passed by the stadium, and I don't know what the name is, but it's like the national stadium in Rio de Janeiro for the Brazilian team, and they are so intense down there. Pele, and it's just amazing. This stadium was so huge. It holds 180,000 people or something. Look it up if you get a chance on Wikipedia, because I'm sure it'll list in there. It's one of the world's largest stadiums, or at least it used to be. And I actually, at one point, said, well, I'd love to go see a game there. Is there a chance I can get tickets to get into the game? And they checked for me, and they said, no, the only tickets that are left are like standing room only, the cheap seats. They said, do not go there on those tickets because it won't be good for you. They say it's, there's a good chance, the pickpockets everywhere and everything else. But they said more than that, too many crowds. There's too much of a risk of, things happening in terms of just getting squeezed and stampedes and all that. And unfortunately, we saw some of that happen with with that Astroworld Festival that was here in Houston last week, which was horrific. And thoughts and prayers go out to all of them. But yeah, so I never got to see the a soccer game from Brazil, but that's on my bucket list as well, because they're so vocal, they're so passionate for their soccer down there. I would love to see it. So there you go. I don't remember what the original question was that started that whole little deal off, but another story. All right, Julie Shepard, never heard of mac and cheese for Thanksgiving. Well, Julia, got to come by my house then, because that's the you got to have mac and cheese. That's our go-to. Yeah, I know there's other families that don't as well, but it doesn't matter. And I told the story before. I think I've told her. When I was inside the Big Brother house, they had the little Kraft mac and cheese that was like 97 cents or something. You buy at the store, just a little box. You mix it with a little milk or water, and you're good to go. Tommy, being from the Italian family that he is and everything, he made macaroni and cheese that was amazing. Fresh pasta and fresh cheeses and 20 different kind of cheeses. I don't even know how he came up with all that stuff inside the house, but he made the most awesome, most amazing pasta. Took him 5 or 6 hours to make. Took me 15 minutes to make my mac and cheese on one of the other evening. And I gotta say, as much as wonderful as his tasted, I kind of liked it my old home style from the box mac and cheese. You can't go wrong with the old basics, right? So good. All right, let's see. Janet saying, "What are your plans for Thanksgiving?" We'll go visit the family, and we kind of bounce it around a little bit because obviously my kids are both engaged. They've got families as well, and my brothers have their families and all that. So there's lots of times that we don't actually celebrate Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving Day. We'll do it Friday or sometimes Saturday, but lots of times we'll do it the day after Thanksgiving. So everyone spends time with their other family on Thanksgiving Day, and then that makes it easier for everyone as a family to come together on Friday itself. So we may do that this year. Watch my Aggies play some football against LSU. I think they're playing on Saturday night, so that'll certainly be part of my Thanksgiving weekend. And I don't know, just a chance to get with the family and visit and all of that. So we haven't had that many chances because of COVID. So we're just now getting opportunities to reconnect with some of the members of my family and all of that. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Mark Taylor, what is your favorite dessert for Thanksgiving? Well, there's a few of them. There's one that's new to my family, but not new to Sharon's family, banana split cake. She makes the most awesome, most fantastic banana split cake. Don't ask me what goes into it. I'm assuming some bananas and some cherries and some graham crackers and some whipped cream and some pineapples and some condensed milk, I think. I can't tell you that. Maybe I ought to do that as a recipe on YouTube one of these days because it's so good. I forget the macaroni and cheese, forget the ham. Just give me a big old casserole dish filled with banana split cake, and I'm probably okay. So it's got to be my favorite dessert by far. Now I also like it. I'm from Texas, so it's a pecan pie, and I call it pecan, not pecans or pecans. Pecan pie is great too. Of course, that's not really banana split cake is kind of a Thanksgiving, Christmas type tradition. Pecan pie, that's year round. I'll eat that whenever it presents itself in front of me. So yeah, got to have some of that pecan pie. When I was little, the desserts we had, my grandmother would always make. She would just take pears, canned pears, cut them in two, put some mayonnaise on top of them, and a little cheese. And that was my dessert as a little kid growing up. I liked them, but I probably like them now still. I mean, I haven't had them in a while. But yeah, I like that. And then, all right, now I got another one for you. And this is not traditional Thanksgiving. Maybe here in Texas, but for most of y'all, it's not. We always have enchilada casserole for Thanksgiving as well. So good. Casserole dish, enchilada tortillas. Tastes just like enchiladas, but it's just a big old cut a square out of it. Perfect. Getting hungry. That's what. It gets dark so early. Now I'm doing the show with y'all. I'm talking about all this food. As soon as I'm shutting it down, I'm going over and I don't have a banana split cake, but I'm loading up on something in that refrigerator. All right, Deborah Demar saying, Cannot wait to hear about the charity auction and meeting the new Big Brother cast. Oh, I'm so excited. Now, here's the thing. We got a few different casts to talk about, right? First of all, charity auction. I assume you're talking about Give Kids the World, Hearts of Reality. So excited to be going to do that the second weekend of December. I need to post my fundraiser page out there. If y'all have got a little extra money you want to donate, I certainly always appreciate it. So I'll do that. But now there's all the celebrities out there to working for Give Kids the World. And I know there's some auctions going on. I think Jessica from my season is out on eBay right now, auctioning off a little 15-minute Zoom call. And I'm going to do a few things here between now and then as well. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And we've got the cast. We've got Big Brother Canada that I just mentioned. We'll get cast for a few months from now. But before that, we've got Celebrity Big Brother. That is, for those of you who don't know, yes, we are having a third season of Celebrity Big Brother. It starts February 2nd, I think. It's only going to last for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So it's going to be a quick little season. But that's okay. It's going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to it. I am so curious to see who they may put on the cast of Celebrity Big Brother. I got some ideas for you. All right. Let me throw these out at you, and then I'm going to, okay, who do y'all want to see on? Yeah, I'm curious to see who y'all want to see. And I'm going to skip through some of the comments so I can get down there and get some of y'all's thoughts. But here's some of my ideas about people that you could put on the show that would be kind of very, very interesting. Someone from The Bachelor or Bachelorette, I guess, the Bachelor franchise. I know my housemate Kat made a little whisper tweet saying that she maybe has some tea on someone maybe from that franchise that'd be going on. I don't know anything about it, and I don't know if she was serious or Kat likes to joke around as well. But it'd be fun to see someone from The Bachelor or Bachelorette go on the show. I know. Do y'all remember Chad? Bad Chad, they called him. He was on Big Brother Celebrity over in the UK, but I don't know if they've had anyone go on the U.S. Celebrity Big Brother from The Bachelor. So be curious to see that. Lance Bass would be a lot of fun. I know he's a huge fan, but don't know if he's ready to do it right now. I've said before, Johnny Manziel. We got to have an athlete, right? Some athlete. So I'm thinking Johnny Manziel, or how about Dennis Rodman, or how about the Gronkowski? They'll be through football season. He'd be interesting to have in the house as well. Those would be a lot of fun. Someone from RuPaul's Drag Race. And I haven't watched that yet. I keep being told I need to start watching RuPaul, and I'd like to. I just haven't. But get someone from RuPaul's Drag Race would probably be a lot of fun inside that house for all kinds of reasons. Someone from the Real Housewives franchise. I keep hearing about that. I haven't watched a lot of those, the Real Housewives shows, so I couldn't give you a lot of input other than just someone from there I keep hearing about. Johnny Bananas from The Challenge. I thought Johnny maybe was going to be on my season of Big Brother as just a regular house guest, because I'd heard his name thrown out here and there. So I was kind of halfway thinking that maybe was going to be the case. I could see him going on the show. Politicians and such. I've heard rumors thrown out there of Kellyanne Conway or Monica Lewinsky. That could be interesting, right? Those would certainly be interesting people to hear some of the stories and such. And then one more that I saw someone mention, probably on Reddit or somewhere. I thought it was fun. You remember Mr. T? Could you see Mr. T before some nomination? I pity the fool who put me on the block. Yeah, I think it'd be fun to have Mr. T on there. Now, a lot of these people are older than your typical house guest in Big Brother, but I think you can get away with that in Celebrity Big Brother. I think the ages tend to skew a little bit older than a regular season. So yeah, I got all kinds of ideas. And now I want to see some of who y'all have got. All right, Marine saying, watch some highlights from your season. How many times were you on the block? Marine, if I count correctly, and if I don't, I'm sure there'll be someone that tells me the right number, but I'm pretty sure it was 6. Now, there were 1 or 2 of those where it was by default. There wasn't anyone else to put up, and I kind of was hoping I'd get pulled off and all that, but yeah, it's put up on week number 1, week number 3, a lot towards the end. Tommy put me up on day 52, and then 2 or 3 there at the end. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 6. Twice I was pulled off by Vito. Does that mean the other 4 times I was on the block when it came to the votes? Maybe. Sure seems like I was sitting in those chairs a lot. I think it was 6 times, which is not the record. I think Victoria from season 16 may have the record. I think she was on the block 8 or 9 times, something like that. I have to look it up, but no, I'm nowhere close to the record. But it seemed like a lot of times while I was actually inside the house. Towards the end, it didn't matter as much. When there's only 4 or 5 of us in there, it's just the way it goes sometimes, and you don't have a whole lot of say in the matter. Even the person putting you on the block may not really want you to go home. They just don't have a lot of people to choose from. But yeah, it's kind of rough when there's 13, 14 people in the house and you still manage to get on the block. That was not a good feeling. Christy put me up on week 1 and she went on and on saying, hey, you're just a pawn. You're not going anywhere. Yeah, I've watched enough Big Brother to know that that's not always the case. Even if she thought it was the case, that doesn't mean that everyone else casting votes thought that was the case. So yeah, that was a little nerve-wracking. It's a tough first couple of weeks for me inside the Big Brother house. All right, Mark, who's going home next in Survivor? Great show last week. Survivor's had some amazing shows. These last few weeks have been phenomenal. One of the things that they're doing, and I mentioned this on my little recap I put out every week, is I feel like they've changed the way they film this or the way they edited it a little bit. So they don't necessarily give us as viewers quite as much information. We see things happen. And for example, this last tribal council, this whole tribal council, I'm sitting there thinking, what in the world is going on? Who is telling the truth? Who is lying? Who doesn't have a clue? Who is scrambling? What of this is pre-planned? It's all just a ruse and all that. And I had no clue during that tribal council because we then later saw some flashbacks of some things happening and people talking. And this is the last 2 weeks we've seen this, where you start getting a little bit more information after the fact. But I really like that because I feel like it gives us as viewers a better understanding of how confusing and stressful it is for the people that are sitting there at tribal council. Because I start getting a lot of feelings watching these last couple of tribals. The same feelings that sometimes I got while I was sitting on eviction night in the Big Brother house of saying, who's telling me the truth? Who's yanking my chain? Who can I believe in? Who is just going to absolutely stab me in the back if they get the chance? And you don't know. You've got to just make your best assumptions, your best guesses. Sometimes you're right. Sometimes you're wrong. And it's been like that on Survivor too. Who's going home next week? Oh, I don't want to give away any spoilers, so it's tough for me to say that. But I feel like the former Team Yaze people who are there are still on the short end, right? In terms of pecking order and allies and everything else. So I'll leave it at that. I don't know. It's been such a crazy season in there. I've given up trying to figure it out. So much of it depends on who gets the immunity idol this week, and I don't know. But I love the show. It's been a great season. All right, Linda Acuff. Kelly would be hilarious on look at this. Kelly, here's the thing. I assume that you're talking about my daughter, Kelly. My son, Daniel, I'd love to see them on several different, and I've said this on here before. They're so smart and they're so aware from a social standpoint and all that. I feel like they do pretty well in a lot of these reality TV shows. So yeah, I'd love to see them on there. All right, got a little time is it? All right, I got a little time. These hours go by so fast. All right, I mentioned that I saw Ted Lasso over the weekend, right? Which was a lot of fun. I also Saturday morning, wife had some errands she was running and everything else, so I didn't want to just stay in the house. So I went to one of Houston's farmer markets. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I went to the farmer's market, saw all the people selling all their different vegetables and breads and honeys and dog foods and everything that you see at one of these things. I kind of focused on the food. I discovered that some of these farmers markets are pretty good about giving out little samples. So I had a little sample of some Thai food or some Indian food. Fantastic. I tried a Thai omelet, which was pretty good. One booth that sells nothing but mushrooms. And there's some cool mushrooms. As a kid, I couldn't stand mushrooms. Couldn't stand them. You might as well just ask me to eat dirt. But nowadays, I really like them. I'm a huge mushroom fan. But while I'm sitting there watching the lady talk to some of the other people, she's saying, "Yeah, we gathered these out, over on the west side of town." And start thinking about it. Well, mushrooms, you kind of got to be careful about what you gather and what you eat and what you don't eat. And so I ended up bypassing the mushrooms. But there was some cool looking stuff there. I love me some spicy food, and they certainly had a lot of that. So I had a blast Saturday morning during the farmer's market. But the whole reason I'm talking about that is because I also discovered a new little delicacy at our local HEB grocery store. Talking about spice, talking about some good eats. All right, here you go, guys. Can you see that? Oh, I kind of thought green screen. I wasn't sure. But here you go. It's some Hatch sweet lime chili sandwich cookies. So they're like Oreos, but the inside, instead of a cream frosting, is a very spicy Hatch chili hot. There are a lot of people who y'all would bite into it and go, oh my God, this is miserable. It's way too spicy. Perfect. It's so good. So we bought a couple of these boxes. I've got one left. And the only reason I have this one left is because I wanted to show y'all this evening. Otherwise, it would have already been eaten. It may be gone within about 15 minutes of the finish of this show. So I got some spicy Hatch chili cookies to look forward to in my very near future. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there so I can eat the cookies. All right, let's see what else is going on. Ma saying, I want to meet Sharon. Yeah, I'd like for all of y'all to meet Sharon eventually. One of these days, we'll go do some crazy something. So we'll do it. Michelle Moore, who's your favorite child? How dare you even ask that? I don't have favorites. I love them all with all my heart and soul. All right. Do I like the Green Bay Packers? Michelle Moore saying, yeah, I've never cheered them on as my home team, but I love the passion of the fans out here. The Cowboys played them in the Ice Bowl in 1967. An amazing game. I don't remember. I was only 2 at the time, but I certainly know all about it. Who would you want to see on Big Brother Heroes versus Villains? All right, we'll hold that to some other show because I don't have enough time to talk about that. We got a lot of villains, though, don't we? I almost feel like we got more villains than we've got heroes on some of these shows. All right, let's see. Opinion off space. I'm trying to get caught up to you guys. I have not been to New York. No, Ma, I've been all over the world, but I have not been there. But I'm ready to. I don't think I'd want to go there New Year's Eve. I look at Times Square, all those people squeezed in and everything. Nah, not then. But it would be fun to go in the wintertime when you get the snow and the ice and Rockefeller Center's all decorated and everything. That'd be pretty cool. I'll let y'all know when I get up there. It'd be fun to do a little meet and greet. And I got so many friends now because of Big Brother and y'all and all that. It'd be fun to just go do something while I was up there. All right, let's see. Should I try my dad's stuffing this year? Well, Ma, stuffing, usually pretty good. When the men of the family are kicking it, you got to think twice about it. Yeah, give it a shot. Take a chance in life. Why not? All right, Ma saying would love a Big Brother season where families of former house guests would play blood versus water but without the other person. Yeah, that'd be fun. And we actually talked a little bit about that while we were inside the house. I remember an evening that Tommy and I were sitting on the hammock out in the backyard, and we talked about that very thing. Tommy said, "Oh, how great would it be if my dad went on the show some future season, and your son or daughter was in here?" And we said, "Yeah, that'd be cool." Because Tommy's dad is something else. He's so much fun. I can see him being on the show, and certainly I can see my kids be on the show. And now that I know everyone else from my cast, know a little bit better than I'm out of the house, I think Nicole and her sisters, they could certainly do it. Everyone's got someone that they could put on a show as a family member. So yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun to see something like that and see how much. I don't know. Y'all don't know if my son or daughter, if they went on would they play the game like me or would they play it completely different? Same with Tommy's dad. I don't know. It'd be an interesting social experiment to see how far the fruit falls from the tree, right? I guess something like that. All right, Janet says, can you see Survivor before it actually airs on TV? Not that I know of. If you know, let me know. If you're suggesting that I have some little inroad or they send me advanced copy or something, nah, I got no connections whatsoever. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I'm just because I got cast and I know some casting people and things like that, and I know people at CBS. And so, yeah, I do have little connections, but not to the point that anyone has ever sent me a preview of any show on CBS or any other network there may be. So no, Janet, I don't think there's any way to say now in this day and age. If you really, really want to know, I know that you can go out and find plenty of spoilers because Survivor's already been filmed and there's people out there. Survivor, The Challenge, all of Bachelor. There's people who already know who've won all those different things. And if you look hard enough, you don't have to look that hard. You can find them. But in terms of actually watching the episodes, I watch it on TV just like everyone else. That's the best way to do it. Myra Garcia said, do you ever go to the Houston rodeo and watch good rodeo and country music? Oh, absolutely. And I can't wait for the rodeo. I've already got some tickets. I've already bought tickets for Sharon and I to go see George Strait in concert. He's going to be there this spring. So late February, early March is when the rodeo is here in Houston. And it's so rough because we didn't get it because of COVID. We've missed out a few years of the rodeo. I was actually at the rodeo or going to the rodeo when I stopped by just to hang out and try it for Big Brother before I went over to the chili cook-off at the rodeo itself back in early 2019. I'm so excited. They have huge performers. I think I may have mentioned this before, who all of us seen at the rodeo over the years? I've seen Taylor Swift. I've seen Merle Haggard. I've seen Willie Nelson. I've seen Alabama. But I've also seen bands that you wouldn't think of as being at the rodeo. The Black Eyed Peas, Barry Manilow. Who else? Did I say Taylor Swift? She put on a phenomenal show. Elvis played there. I didn't see Elvis there, but my wife saw Elvis at the rodeo. Casey and the Sunshine Band have been there. Kool and the Gang. I went and saw Kool and the Gang back in, when was that? About 1980 or so. We came down to Houston and watched it. So yeah, but there's also just a lot of and the Black Eyed Peas, I think I mentioned. There's a lot of big name acts, but there's also a lot of side stages and places that you can just go hang out and just see some incredible music. I walk around this cowboy hat, and I know I kind of stood out inside the Big Brother house, and I stand out when I'm walking down the streets of Los Angeles. You go to the rodeo in Houston, I don't stand out at all. I fit right in. I'm just one of thousands and thousands of people in boots and cowboy hats. And you walk around, check out the cows and the livestock, the smell of manure everywhere, the big old turkey legs and cotton candy smell. It's just a great way. When we were younger, when our kids were younger, we'd go around, we'd do all the carnival rides, and we'd go, they have pig races and the dairy barns, and they'd watch how the cows get milked, and we do all these little things. As they've gotten older and gotten out of the house, now sometimes it's just Sharon and I that go to the rodeo, and a lot of times we just like to park ourselves on a bench and just people watch. Just watch the people going back and forth because there are so many different types. It's just a blast going to that thing. So yeah, I missed it because of COVID for a couple of years, but I am absolutely ready to go back. I cannot wait. All right, let's see. Cross track. Save the rodeo in New York. Saw a rodeo in New York at Madison Square Garden. It was good, but not as good as in Texas. Yeah, there was a rodeo up there at Madison Square Garden. I think I remember telling Tommy or Nicole or both of them saying, "Hey guys, I'd love to come up there and visit and take y'all to the rodeo up there." And then we couldn't because then COVID kicked in and all that, and it didn't work out. But yeah, it'd be great. Now, I got one to one-up you. Madison Square Garden with the rodeo sounds like a little bit of a cultural difference, shall we say. I know, like in Philadelphia, it's against the law to have rodeos because they consider animal cruelty or just they're not into it. But I got one-up you on that. I've actually seen a rodeo on the deck of an aircraft carrier. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I think it's Red Bull did their bull riding series or whatever, but the USS Lexington is an aircraft carrier that's permanently located down in Corpus Christi, Texas. And you can go there. I've actually spent the night there a few times with my son and his Boy Scout troop, which was a lot of fun as well. Remind me, I'll tell y'all stories about the ghost stories and stuff at the Lexington, one of these shows. But now they actually went in and set up an entire bull ring on top of the deck of the USS Lexington. And apparently they couldn't get the bulls and stuff up the little escalators or stairs. So they had to like fly them in and set them down with helicopters and everything else. But they had a full rodeo on the deck of a US aircraft carrier, which was pretty cool. I don't know who thought of that, but it's kind of unique. So that's pretty neat. Chickadee Kenny, Happy 50th episode, Cliff. Well, thank you so much. I know I said it earlier, but for those of you who maybe came a little bit later, I appreciate the support so much. I thank you for putting up with me. I know sometimes I ramble a little bit. I know I've got some stories, and I hope y'all enjoy them, but sometimes I'll ramble a bit. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for making Monday nights so much more fun than it otherwise would be. I absolutely do appreciate it. It's 7:55. Let's see if I can catch a few of these real quick. Let's see. Jennifer Anderson and her Kung Fu. Yeah, I need to watch Office Space again. I haven't seen it in a while. Don't invite me for Thanksgiving or else I'll steal your macaroni and cheese. Well, Ma, here's the beauty of it. My family knows how much we all like macaroni and cheese, so we don't just have one container of it. We have several containers. You don't have enough hands and carrying capacity to take away all the macaroni and cheese we have at one of our Thanksgivings. So, yeah, like my mac and cheese. All right, now here's something really controversial, guys, in terms of macaroni and cheese. And I know half of y'all, probably 2/3 of you, are gonna throw things at me or whatever. You know what I kind of like to add on my macaroni and cheese when I want to get a little different? I put on ketchup. I like me some mac and cheese with a little ketchup added in. I'll put it off to the side, and that's my secret sauce when it comes to macaroni and cheese. And there's people who look at that and say, "Oh, that is the most disgusting thing you've ever seen in your life," including most of my family. But I like ketchup on macaroni and cheese. So there you go. Little insider information. All right, Mark. Would put Boston Rob on your Survivor Mount Rushmore. I love watching Boston Rob. And the thing about Boston Rob, when I first watched him, his very first season, I thought he was getting too fancy with his game because he understood it better than I did back then. Because he was getting out people that were strong players on his tribe, but he did it because he knew that he needed to get the strong people out while he had the chance. And at the time, I was so much into, you got to be loyal to everyone on your tribe. You got to be strong going into mergers and all that. Well, he played it a different way, and it worked for him. And so, yeah, I've enjoyed Boston Rob every season he's played. Now, maybe this last season, he and Sandra, where they were just there kind of as consultants and everything, man, either get in and play full speed or don't play at all. But, yeah, I've never met Boston Rob, but I'm so looking forward to it. Now, Sandra is going to be at the Hearts of Reality in December, so I'm looking forward to the chance to meet her. There's a lot of Survivor people that are going to be there, and I'm so excited. Sandra, Johnny Fairplay is going to be there. Rick Devens is going to be there. Elaine Stott's going to be there, and I think Carl's going to be there. Wendell's going to be there. Wendell Holland. I know I'm missing so many people. Ben is going to be there. Another cowboy. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people there. It's going to be so much fun. All right. Who said? Michelle Moore said Detroit. You know what? I don't know what that was in relation to, but I've been to Detroit once. That's cool. I went in the summertime where it was fantastic weather there. But yeah, it's neat. All right, let's see. 7:58. Gosh, guys, it goes so fast. All right. Well, with that, I think we're going to go ahead and shut it down. I will have a few stories I'll save for next time. And that always works. Monica Lewinsky would cause too much tension, Moss saying, yeah, maybe. But she'd also create a lot of I don't know. I don't know what she's like nowadays, but yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I think that would be very interesting. All right, guys, we're going to shut it down. Hopefully I got most of y'all's comments. Yeah, I saw the video of Nicole dancing in front of the Cowboys. Ma's asking about Nicole's new beau is very, very big into the Dallas Cowboys. So when they come down and visit in Texas, we're going to have to make a tour of the new Jerry World Stadium, and I'm sure he will be very happy to do that. All right, guys, I'm going to shut it down because it's about that time. All of y'all, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here with me on my 50th episode. We're not stopping now, though. We're going to keep on going because I just have too much fun doing it. And with that in mind, please, if you haven't already done so, go out there and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I appreciate both of those. The like, just because, thank you. We all like to be complimented a little bit, so I appreciate that. The subscribe button, it'll just make sure that you hear whenever I do, be it this show, be it Survivor. If I do RuPaul's or something coming up, get y'all the immediate notification when those episodes drop as well. So please do that so you can keep track of it. Any comments, any suggestions? I don't always say this, but if y'all got any comments, any suggestions, you don't have to wait to the show itself. Send me some notes, send me some DMs. I try to answer everything that comes through Instagram and Twitter both. Let me know if there's any topics that y'all really want to talk about that I never get around to or I just have never thought of. I'm game for pretty much every conversation. So y'all send me some stuff on DM. We'll see if we can't fit it in. But until then, guys, Y'all have a fantastic Monday night. Enjoy the second week in November. Yeah, I guess so. And then next week is Thanksgiving, so it's a short week and all that. So enjoy the last regular long work week of November, and then we'll be into Thanksgiving. Have a great one, guys. SKD 143. I love my wife, love my kids, love all of y'all out here. Thank you so much, and I will see y'all. For those of you who are checking out my Survivor episodes, I'll see y'all sometime Thursday when I drop the episode. The rest of you, I'll see you again next Monday night. Cheers, my friends. Bye.